Man, it's December already, the last month of 2024, but the last week of November was fantastic. A chat with Mike's book reviews, some great reading, and Thanksgiving holiday. Let's talk about the week ending December 1st, 2024. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem. I'm a composer, now also a booktuber. You can find my music in The Wheel of Time Season 2, His Dark Materials Season 3, and a cat that has just come into frame that I'm cat-sitting right now. Alright, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Now, as you could see, I was cat-sitting there for a friend of mine. A wonderful, beautiful cat, and very affectionate, very loving, but also wants to be a part of the show. So I had to kind of put her in the other room for a moment while I filmed this video. So this week was all about Brandon Sanderson's The Rhythm of War. And as you could tell, this book is pretty massive. 1,200 pages and change. I was like on page 374 when I started the week. So I read close to 800 pages or so, 700 and some change this week. So it was pretty heavy lifting. And I gotta say, for those of you who have read Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson and kind of felt a little bit iffy on it, I think a lot of people felt I just didn't quite match up to the levels of the first couple of books. The Way of Kings and The Words of Radiance. I would highly recommend, if you could somehow fit this into your schedule ever, to give this a reread, because I found the same things that I felt a little bit trepidatious about previously are the things that I actually grew to love about this book on the second read. And it's evidenced by the fact that I read through this whole thing, the majority of it in a week. So, I'm not the fastest reader in the world. That's kind of fast for me. But I just was really enjoying the journey. And, Sanderson kind of goes deeper into the lore and the magic system in this book. And he also kind of goes into the science of it. This is like this fabrial technology that these different characters are developing in this book. And he kind of goes into that a little bit more. And you almost feel like you're reading about astrophysics or something like that. Or when I first read it, it almost felt like, does it feel almost like reading a science textbook or something? But once you kind of throw yourself into that world, it almost feels real, like you're discovering it along with the characters. And that was something I actually grew to really enjoy about this book. I actually felt the pacing was a lot better than I remembered it being the first time. So I loved it. And that final act of this is probably one of the most harrowing and interesting acts, and I can't wait to see what Brandon Sanderson sets up for Wind and Truth. And I'm going to be a day one reader. As soon as that arrives on my doorstep, that is definitely going to be something I'm reading. So looking forward to that. I also dipped into a little bit of The Crimes of Rooker Flynn by A.R. Witham. Now this took a little bit of a backseat for Rhythm of War because I wanted to make sure I finished this 1,200 page book and then got ready for yet another chonker in about 6 days or so. So I'm going to be continuing on this one. I'm about a third of the way through. Loving it so far. The pacing is great. There's just the cold open of this book I thought was really just a fantastic kind of interesting relationship between the characters and the family and stuff like that. So really enjoying it so far. Highly recommend you check it out. I'm leaving the link to this and everything else I talk about in the description as well. So if you want to check those out, you can always feel free to do so. So that is what I read. Kind of a quicker reading update as far as the reading roundup is considered for this past week. But let's talk a little bit about what I'm going to read this week. So I'm going to continue down the train of The Crimes of Rooker Flynn. I'm also going to be reading, and I'm so excited about this because I absolutely loved the first two books of the Idan trilogy by Philip Chase. Now, those of you who have watched Booktube probably know him. He's just a wonderful staple of the community, and he's created a beautiful community of his own. And he's just a wonderful person, a positive person in the community. And he just happens to be a fantastic fantasy writer. So I love the first two books. I felt like I loved the first book. I like the second one even more, which, I think that's a hard thing to do because a lot of trilogies suffer from middle book syndrome. They set up things for the third book, and then the third book ends up being some grand finale or something. One thing I loved about the second book he wrote, The Prophet of Idan, is it goes in directions you don't expect, and it kind of leaves you with questions of, wow, where will the third book go from here? And so I'm so excited to dive into that, and that's going to be full speed ahead because I don't want to rush that one, but if I can finish it before Wind and Truth and still enjoy the process and really get into the story, I think I'll be very happy to have, completely some space away for Wind and Truth, because I know that's going to be a behemoth at 1,344 pages on hardcover. So I'm looking forward to it. And if I don't finish it before Wind and Truth comes out, then I'll just pick up right where I left off right after Wind and Truth. So that's kind of the goal for this coming week. So once Wind and Truth arrives on my doorstep on the 6th, that is going to be full steam ahead on that final Brandon Sanderson book in the Stormlight Archive, Arc 1. So this is book 5. And it's a journey to get here, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. So let's talk a little bit about this week on the channel, because this week was yet another doozy. Besides my regular reading roundup, I did also a December TBR video, which I'm linking up here, and I kind of talked about a bunch of these books that I'm going to be reading in December, a couple of which I've already talked about here. And the second video I got a chance to do was by far one of my favorite videos on the channel, and this guy's a Booktube hero of mine. I've been following his channel for like 5 years, since 2019. And of course, I'm talking about Mike from Mike's Book Reviews. He is someone I've looked up to in the Booktube space for a long time, and I have avidly watched his videos for years. And his Wheel of Time takes from when he first started the channel was actually what got me interested in the series as a whole, and then eventually reading the books and pitching for the show and getting to work on the show. So I feel like I owe my career in part to him and the wonderful videos he put out at that time and henceforth. Not only that, like a lot of the authors that I talk about on this channel, I've actually discovered through Mike's Book Reviews. So he's like a personal hero of mine, and it was just wonderful to chat with him about all things books, book adaptations. We talked about music. It's funny to see how similar our tastes are in both books and music, and even like film and TV, and kind of what makes a good adaptation and what doesn't. So I'm linking that up here as well. We talked for like an hour and a half, which was really lovely. And just a wonderful guy. So Mike, thank you so much for taking the time to be on a tiny channel like mine and for chatting with me. Really had a blast, and look forward to continuing the conversation and everything. So that's what happened this week. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up in this coming week. So I have a couple videos I want to do. I want to do my November wrap up, because I think, I kind of asked a bunch of you on the Discord channel, about what you think about wrap-ups and stuff. And you all seem to really like the idea of, continuing those. So I'm going to do a November wrap-up. I'm also going to do a companion video for a video I did, I think a week or two ago, which was 10 top 10 series in 2025 that I want to start. And I'm linking that up here. So I'm going to do a companion video, which is the top series in 2025 that I want to complete. Because there's certain ones that I'm on a book 3 out of 7 or something like that. And I really want to see those through in 2025. So that video I'm going to do. And then another live stream, Shelf Talkers episode 2. I'm so excited to announce that I'm going to have the wonderful Philip Chase on my channel on December 8th. So I'm going to keep you all posted as it gets closer to the date, and kind of make a post on my community post about that and what you can expect there. So if you all end up being free on that day, please feel free to join us in the chat. Would love to chat with you all. We're going to do it as a live stream and just chat for a while about the Edan trilogy as a whole, about the writing process, everything, all things Philip Chase, the Booktube journey, and everything like that. And so super fascinating guy, really excited to talk to him about it. And, I was on his channel, on his Dear Dr. Fantasy segment as well, which I'm linking up here in case you didn't get a chance to check it out yet. And I'm just so excited to have him on my channel now and talk all about how amazing he is. So I'm really looking forward to that. So Philip, thanks so much for taking the time to be on my channel as well. And can't wait to do more long form discussions, because, I think I've gotten some comments from you guys that you've been enjoying the long form. And I want to make that also something that can be a good part of this channel. So I kind of created this Shelf Talkers series that Mike was on the inaugural episode, that is just talking with other booktubers and authors about their process and things like that. And also just about a variety of topics as they come up, in conversation. Keep it kind of loose and flowing and informal, I guess you could say. So looking forward to that as well. The last thing I want to mention is, so I have a Discord channel now. We have about 38 members, so a bunch of new people joined. So welcome. And if you haven't joined yet, what are you waiting for? We got a really nice community of people there who are talking about different books and series. And as of December 1st, we are doing a soft read along of the prequel novella to Janny Wirth's magnum opus, The Wars of Light and Shadow series, which we're going to be reading as part of our 2025 channel read-along, soft read-along. 120 pages or so, so we're kind of all going to start it and maybe discuss a little bit in the Discord, discuss on the new Fable app that I also have a read-along set up there as well. So I'm linking that down below as well. If you want to join, please feel free to join us. It's a great way to dip your toes into the water of this wonderful, wonderful author and human being as we embark on this giant series together next year. So if you want to be a part of that, please feel free to join. We'd love to have you. The more the merrier, because, you know, the more voices talking about the books, I think, the more varied the conversations and the more richer the conversations. Let's talk a little bit about the music and film section, which I always like to do to kind of keep you apprised of what my projects are kind of currently. So there's one I'm going to be starting on this week. I'm kind of diving into the world a little bit. I can't explain too much about it right now. All this to say, I'm super excited to get into it and kind of get the writing process going. So I'll keep you all posted on that when I can announce more about that. But that's like your cryptic little announcement for today. But the other ones are a little bit more specific. So I think I had mentioned to you all that I'm producing and composing on a film called The Conduit right now, which is like a proof of concept horror short film for a feature. And the other people on the team are writing the script now for the feature, pitching it around to studios and things like that as well. So I'm going to be working on the music for The Conduit this week. And it's going to be a lot of piano, a lot of weird string sounds and stuff. It's very psychological horror related. So it'll be fun to kind of go into the world building of that. I'm really excited about that as well. And then I found out that the score for Dead Whisper, which is the psychological horror film I did with that same team, is now in consideration for the Society of Composers and Lyricists Awards for the David Raxton Award for Emerging Talent. So I'm really excited to be on the ballot with a bunch of other fine composers and scores. So, you know, I'll keep you all posted on how that all goes. I think the voting opens up on December 6th. So I'm going to be kind of doing a lot of prep work for that. Posting videos on my music channels and things like that, which I'm also linking down below if you'd like to check those out. You know, I think it's interesting because, you know, I started off as a composer. Now I'm also a booktuber, and I'm seeing a lot of parallels between two, both in terms of the creative process and then also where those projects intersect. So it's kind of fun to, you know, kind of have a confluence of different things that come together. So that's really fun. And then the other thing I'm going to be doing is, I think I mentioned to you in a previous weekly update, I want to write music for music's sake as well. And I want to be more prolific in the way I write. This year has been kind of a little bit of a lighter year because of the state of the industry. And then also, you know, after working for Lauren Bell for 2 years, I was working like 100 hours a week and I was feeling pretty burnt out, and I needed a year to kind of recuperate, honestly. So I'm excited to get back into the creative fray, and I'm going to be releasing my first single, which is going to be part of 3 EPs that are interconnected, that is very influenced by like early 70s singer-songwriters, which is some of my favorite style of music. And the song is called My Year. It's going to be out on January 3rd. So I'll put a pre-save link if you all want to pre-save it on Spotify. That always helps the algorithm gods there as well. And it's a very personal song to me, and I'm excited to kind of put that out. I recorded a 20-piece string section in Budapest, and I recorded the piano at a studio in LA and the vocals in another studio in LA. It's been a very ambitious process to get that going. So really excited about that. So I'm going to be kind of working on getting all the promo stuff for that ready. So a lot of work to do this week, but I'm feeling refreshed because of the Thanksgiving holiday, which I got to spend with Linda, my wife, and a couple of her friends. We did some karaoke in my studio room here. So it was really fun, you know. How was your week, you guys? Did you all celebrate Thanksgiving? Did you have a good week? Did you all were some of you on holiday? Did you read anything cool this week? Let me know in the comments. Like, I always love to create a dialogue with you. And as you know, I always try to ask questions of you as well, because I want to like chat about you guys. You know, that's the fun part about this channel, is the community that we create together. So with that, I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem. Please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care.